Hello everybody, everyone here have the history lesson today? Good. If not, you're staying, or you can just leave and not watch this, or whatever. We will be talking today about the history of Monster Hunter, accompanied by Monster Hunter gameplay and music that I had to get off of SHAREfactory, so sorry. Monster Hunter, series created in 2004 by Capcom as a desperate bid to make a game for the PS2 that sold well. It was one of 3 ideas, one of which did not make it out of the door. Another one was just a racing game that kind of faded out of existence at that point. Monster Hunter, well, kind of stood out. It filled a niche crowd that made sales rise. It's the type of series that you kind of fall in love with and you just really want to enjoy. But everyone likes that. In modern day, Monster Hunter sales were on the decline for some time in America, but in Japan it skyrockets. But onward though, Monster Hunter on the PS2 was a pretty odd game to play. You had to use the right analog to attack, like up does a vertical, side equals a horizontal slice or whatever. You had no lock on, so you had to do like the claw thing for your items on your middle, your index is on the D-pad, your thumb is on the left analog to like turn everything. Yeah, that would hurt your hands. I mean, some people didn't use the cameras actually. Some people just pressed L1 each time they turned. But onward though, Monster Hunter basically gained popularity adding some more versions, but we mainly were getting updated versions of the previous titles. So Monster Hunter went to Monster Hunter G, which was more of an updated version of the Monster Hunter the first Monster Hunter game. So not that bad, right? Well, with Monster Hunter, then you have Monster Hunter 2, and it continues onward. My history of Monster Hunter, well, it kind of started with 3 Ultimate, but Monster Hunter went from PS2s to PS3s, PSPs, Wii's, 3DS's, not all in that order, but it was mainly PS2, PSP, Wii, 3DS, then back to consoles, but it's PS4, Xbox One, and PC. PC I don't think is out yet, I don't know, I haven't checked. I don't really care about PC gaming that much. But Monster Hunter though, it's come a long way. Originally it was just some game that was meant to fill up a game. As like a desperate bid for Monster Hunter, for Capcom to release a game. So it was just kinda, yeah, Monster Hunter was just kinda there. It wasn't really meant to sell well. But the team at Capcom really enjoyed it, but it faltered. Monster Hunter faltered in the fact that it filled a very niche crowd, but it did hit the online community in the first game, where if you had an Ethernet cable hooked up to the PS2 to your internet, you could play online with people. That's amazing, right? Yeah, it is. But not many people were into it, and not everyone had a PS2 or the game at the time, so kind of died out in a way, but now it's actually kind of risen back to popularity. But going onward though, when they hit the PSP, the console was the camera. So the PSP wasn't really meant for that, but they did change it to the format that we will now know today as 2 buttons are your attacks, while 1 button is your items and your sealing weapon. It does develop into that at the time. But mind you, Monster Hunter had to take years to get to that point on the PSP. Remember as well, back then Monster Hunter games were being shoveled out almost every single year. It's not something to just scoff at, the fact that Capcom was able to make these every single year. The problem is though that when they made the new game, they reused old areas, yeah, but they introduced new things each game. Almost every new game, so that means they had to sit there every single year while making the title, seeing what was new, what could they add that was new, and if it did, it worked. And then onto the PSPs, That's where we introduced the Tigrex and then our Rapuga. Some of the best monsters out there, actually. Fan favorites, as a matter of fact, in my opinion. I'm a huge fan of the Tigrex monster. But here's the thing. My history with Monster Hunter hit when I was in high school. So, when I was in high school, I knew nothing that Monster Hunter even existed. I saw some videos on YouTube about it. That was it. That was my idea that Monster was actually a cool series. But I had no money. I had a 3DS, sure, but I didn't have the money to buy a Monster Hunter copy. I didn't even know where to get one. I knew they had it in the GameStop, but there's something for like $40, and I didn't have that kind of money on me. So, comes in a friend of mine, gives me the game for free Ultimate for my 3DS, and says, here you go, play it. You can have it. I played for hours on end. Strangely enough, though, I didn't really know much about Monster Hunter at that point, so I kind of just like, what are elements, what are these, what's this, what's that? Monster Hunter does also fall in that matter that if you're not interested in the series, or you're not really into that kind of game, you're not really gonna enjoy it because it's nothing you're interested in. But here's my opinion on Monster Hunter. You sit there, you learn, and you learn. That's all it is. It's just trial and error. You have to learn to get better at the game. You can't improve unless you yourself intend on improving. So, get to work. If in the series, get to work. If you're on PS4, I'm honestly willing to help you. That's just what I'm saying right there. So I'm willing to help someone on PS4. I have friends who are even willing to help you on PS4, teach you the game. So, yeah, I don't hide that. And also, with Monster Hunter, I didn't really have a lot of friends when it came to Monster Hunter. It was kind of just me and my one friend, and that was kind of it. Then came along 4 Ultimate, I bought that game myself, played it, loved it. Still loved the Sword of Shield. In fact, that was my first ever weapon, but I was kind of falling into the longsword category at that point. And I was slowly trying to go to switch axes, couldn't get the hang of them, so I kind of gave up. But, going on to that though, that's where I got my brother into Monster Hunter. He enjoyed Monster Hunter as well, as he was my older brother who never played it before, but he's always wanted to. But let's just get back on the topic of Monster Hunter for right now. So, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate on the 3DS was a good game. Now, I do think Portable 3rd and Try, mind you, I think Try was pretty much a test. As, why would they release Try in America if they were making this 3 Ultimate at the time? Why? What would be the point? It's just a test. It was just a test in a way, and I've even seen it, it's just a test. Just a way to prepare for the next Wii games, but whatever. Do what you think, huh? But 3 Ultimate did have a failure on the 3DS port, that it was local only because Japan was so clever that you could find probably like 10 hunters in one go on your own. You didn't need to just sit there and look. You would find them on your own, and there wasn't nothing to scuff at. But in America, not everyone sits close together, so it was kind of failing at that point. But on to 4 Ultimate for us. 4 Ultimate was sort of like the breaking point to Monster Hunter. It's what put Monster Hunter, in my opinion, on the map in America. It allowed Monster Hunter to grow, to prosper into the series that we know today. But it also, take a look at Monster. It went from this sort of almost realistic like hunting game to this cartoony game, which I'm not complaining about. In fact, I enjoyed the goofiness that Monster Hunter held. It grew more ridiculous as the series progressed. I mean, weapons that can morph into other weapons that can, well, be just plain crazy, like the insect glaive, able to jump into the air with a weapon. That was unheard of for a while. Normally with the sword and shield, you just roll off a cliff and do an attack in the midair, but that's about it. Yeah. Now where mounting came in. Mounting. Instead of swimming like in 3, which I didn't mind the swimming mechanic, it was just something to get used to at first. But I actually preferred the swimming in some ways, as it challenged you to actually learn maneuvers. Now mind you, everyone has a different opinion. In my opinion, I kind of enjoyed the swimming. The mounting was cool though, but fortunately it was too easy to mount, so Glaive was too powerful, Sword and Shield was too powerful. Certain weapons were just too strong, they are easy time mounting. Comes along generations where they actually fixed the mounting mechanics, they fixed the Glaive, and they had something that I actually enjoyed, was hunting styles. Hunting styles were a thing of play styles for other hunters, as Capcom had to choose between either a new weapon that was hard to develop or styles based off other hunters. Because they see people how they usually see, like you can have, like Adept style in my opinion was based off of the hunters that did attacks and dodges to the very last second. It's for those who actually learned the game. Like there are clips that there are people who are hunting the earlier Monster Hunter games that with a greatsword. They just pull out the greatsword, just stand there, face into the monster, do their upward slash, they swing it back, and right as it hits the monster, it stuns them. Like, that's it. That's all it does, just stun them. That is something to be really proud of having the time to do that. That's Adept style. Strikers for the people that like to rush in, rely on tricks and techniques to get them through a fight. Arrows for those people in full that like to jump around a lot, who want to do it on other weapons. Guild is for those people that are basic, uniform, but they are still effective. A lot of people don't like the styles though, but I pretty much enjoyed them, as I was an Adept style user mainly, with a sword and shield, and a greatsword or a longsword. Excuse me. Pardon me about that. But, now on to stories. I like stories. If you like Pokemon, you'll typically enjoy stories for a while. I enjoyed it. The ability to ride the monsters that I liked, mount them, own them, and have fun. What I wanted the most was a Tigrex, but I got a Brute Tigrex, which I was really happy about getting. I was really happy when I got that. It made me happy. And that's what Monster Hunter likes to do, is make fans happy. Well, I think Monster Hunter is always free DLC with all their games, but we don't know about World yet. World doesn't really have much DLC out there, so only time can really tell, huh? But continuing onward outside stories is now World. World was a gateway to many players. So that my controller got a little stuck there when that happened, so my bad. Yeah, I got stuck there, my controller bugged out for a second. But with World though, it was a gateway to many newer players, but it was also a way to bring older players back. As I know people disagree with this, but they say it outright, is you are an A-list hunter. You are not a rookie. I will repeat that. You are not a rookie hunter. You are far from that rookie. You are beyond it. You are a person who has had experience in hunting. Someone who knows what they're doing. So, it grinds my gears a little bit when people say you're a rookie. You're not a rookie. They explicitly tell you, you are an A-lister. You are far from it. Sorry, I just get a little teed off about that. Onward. World developed the combat style to where I like it. Fast-paced, but yet it's still technical. You still need to be somewhat precise on where you do place your characters, as it can lead to a lot of disasters and failures, and where you attack. But the biggest thing they fixed though was armor, weapons, and the greatsword. Now, the greatsword was always a chore to use, as it really wasn't the best thing to run around with, as it was heavy, slow, and it was really inaccurate, so it's kind of like, really? I'm using this thing? But, honestly though, that was really fun. Now they fixed it just about the gameplay here of me using the greatsword, obviously. I'm enjoying it. But with World though, it made fans unhappy for some reason. It led fans to be the most unhappy thing ever because it was too easy. Look at the hunt. Me and my friend are two experienced hunters. We've been playing for years on end, and then all of a sudden, this monster, this Beelzebeast, I think I said it right, Beelzebeast, was beating our ass almost. I mean, my friend got carded 2 times from that thing, and he's more experienced than I am. Another glorious thing they got rid of was the double armor classes you had to use. Instead of it being 2 armor classes, you can just make 1 set of armor, and you can be a bow gunner, you can be a gunner, or a blade master. That's the beautiful thing about it. And designs on the weapons, I actually enjoy the new designs as they don't look cartoony. Because, yes, I love cartoony things. I'm a fan of cartoons. Don't get me wrong, I like things that look goofy. But in this world and setting, it really wouldn't make sense to have a goofy looking weapon on hand. It just wouldn't make sense, in my opinion, here. But on with those with my history still, I've been playing since sophomore. Sophomore. Sophomore was my second year of high school. And I've been playing now, and I'm 18 years old, so I've probably been playing for about 5 years now, almost. I think. Could be wrong. I don't remember how old I was when I was a sophomore, but yeah. But the Monster Hunter, though, is a series that gives you joy. It is a series of trial and error. You have to learn what you are doing before you get out there. I regretted not learning because I spent the first 3 hours grinding for an item that I didn't know where to get. Mind you, it was just matchlit ore. Some of the earliest items you can get in the game that were not that hard. I didn't know where to look. I spent hours not knowing if there was online guides or that already out for me. I was confused. So I'm really glad now that I know this stuff. So, Capcom, if you're watching this ever, you have my support 100% for whatever you do in Monster Hunter. I will always be by your side getting your next game for you. So, if people are giving you crap or shit about Monster Hunter, just like you have my support 100%. I will never back down from a Monster Hunter game. I will always be there to stand there by your side with my sword and shield in hand to hunt with people. As that's the way I did develop friends in school. It was a way for me to make friends. It was fun, enjoyable, but this is how Monster Hunter has become and what it's done for me. Honestly, I think it's made me a better person in a way, as made me appreciate a challenge. Mind you, I got into Monster Hunter before I got to Dark Souls. So, keep that in mind, a guy that loves Dark Souls loves this more. This is one of my favorite games ever. I'm being honest with you. This is one of my favorite series ever. If you don't like it, that's fine. I'll respect that opinion. But I will ask you why, and how can I help you to change that opinion? I want to know. Because Monster Hunter is this year that should be shared. It should be enjoyed. It shouldn't be hated on. But I've talked too long, so like, comment, subscribe. Have a lovely day. And I'll see all of you on Hunting Battlefield, fellow hunters. Good night, and good hunt.